Okay, we're in the truck for the second video after 1 year of ownership, really about 13 months of ownership. But let's go over quirks and problems. Seat air conditioning. I never thought this would be a problem, but my gosh, it's so cold that it tightens up my back and hurts. I thought these seats were so uncomfortable at first, and then I realized, well, I would just prefer ventilated only, but I can't have that because they're air conditioned. So, surprise, surprise, Fancier actually had backfired. Oh, this thing takes rocks to the windscreen. It is just a magnet for them. So anyway, it just right about here, they just it's like they're magnets. Hybrid battery capacity, it's kind of low. It starts and stops more than I'm comfortable with. I mean, even on a 20-mile just trip to the highway, down the highway and over to a friend's house, it probably starts and stops 25 times. It's a lot more than I'm comfortable with. Windshield wiper recall, some other recalls they don't even have parts for. Hybrid tuning, I wish they just had an engine longevity mode. Because it shakes a lot, especially that before you get your first oil change, you're like, what was I doing? Get a first oil change early, do oil changes often, you'll be happy. I do mine every 4,500 miles. I'll talk about that in the next video, some specifics on it. I don't change the filter every time. That's how I save money and time. Lots of recalls. Major panel gap. Ooh, panel gap, panel gap, panel gap, panel gap, panel gap. Just like the base model, just colored. Chrome. Fancy. Panel gap, panel gap, panel gap. Kind of off. That's everyone in the batch when this truck was delivered. Everyone was like this. Let's see. Oh, digital sound processor. Every speaker going blown. Crackling from the headrest, everything. 1080 watts, just smacking you in the ears, making them ring for 2 hours. Digital sound processor. They changed that. Haven't had it since. Let's see, but I brought it in for multiple days, multiple times, because it hurt my ears. Fairly clunky transmission. That's Ford, apparently. Maybe the slop is for reliability for the F150. Yeah. Oil changes help a lot. Oil filter location's a pain. Skid plates, sound panels are in the way of drain access. I'll talk about how I get around that, at least for the draining. Backup sensor. The driver assist, you have to go through the screen, driver assistance, and go to reverse brake assist and turn it off if you're going to be off-road with tall grass, twigs, or even just, I saw it when I got a flat tire at Discount. They were fixing it, and he was backing up, and his buddy just waves behind the truck, and the truck just stops. He's laughing his butt off. So was I. You got to manually turn it on and off. I want it on for the dog, kiddos, things like that, but you got to turn it off if you're going to go off-road. You really do. Reverse camera is huge. When you don't get the 360 cam, that's the only benefit. I wish I had a front camera, but when you don't get the 360 cam, the backup camera's huge. So, I like it. Sometimes the screen takes a while to turn on. There's one spot on the highway near me where it must just be a dead zone or something. Maybe there's some FBI things going on. And it just turns off and then turns back on, like at that intersection consistently. It's weird. But yeah, those are the quirks. The other quirk, when you're wiring your house, you can't use a ground wire because this thing is grounded to itself. It's self-grounded. So when you wire it to your house for the power, when you wire it to power, you have to not connect the ground wire to your bus bar, which is just insane. So, cap it and just know that if you're going to hook up a generator instead, it needs to be a self-grounded generator, or you've got to go behind the panel and reconnect the ground. It's weird. Otherwise, it gets a double ground fault. Trust me, I I know, and watch TFL, they dealt with issues and had to make a second video as a follow-up. Any other quirks? Oh, the behind here, the jack. It's weak metal. First time I used it, it twisted, and it actually twisted and broke, and it cut my hand. So the jack, don't trust it. If you really, really think you're gonna need it, then just mount or tie something real tight in the bed. You know, a better jack system. Okay, the next video will be my general observations. That was quirks and weird things to keep note of that I've personally dealt with.